Algebra 2, Concept 36, the Law of Cosines, solving oblique triangles. So in this lesson, you will use the Law of Cosines to solve oblique or non-right triangles when two sides and the included angle are known, or when all three sides are known. So this is what we call case 3 and case 4. So if you look at the law of cosines, it's similar to the law of sines in that there are different ways to write it and think of it. It's a very flexible formula. So it's based on a triangle ABC with angles capital ABC and side lengths lowercase abc. So if you look at the three different ways that it is written, you'll see that the side length a squared equals the other two side length squareds added together minus 2 times those two side lengths times the cosine of the angle that corresponds with the length that you are solving for. So we have b squared equals a squared plus c squared minus 2ac times the cosine of b, and then the same with c squared. So just take a minute and look at those three configurations of the formula to notice the pattern. We can use this formula to solve for a side length or to solve for an angle. And again, we use this when we have non-right triangles and we know cases 3 and 4, side angle side information or side side side. All right, so look at case 3, which is side angle side, example 1. So we have lengths of 3 and 2 and angle C of 141. So notice when I draw the triangle, I can tell by looking around the triangle that my known information is a side, an included angle, and another side. So I can use the law of cosines. I list what I need to know to solve the triangle. And then that way, when I have filled in that box, I know that I'm done with the problem. So let's start with side C. So the formula goes, the side you're looking for equals the other two sides squared added together minus 2 times those sides times the cosine of the angle that corresponds, in this case, with side C. So that's 141. So you're going to get out your calculator and just put everything on the right side of the equation in. So you will get approximately 22.32, etc. Don't round that. Now take the square root and pull back the answer so you get all the digits of that, and let's round to tenths place. So length C is approximately 4.7. Now let's solve for angle A. We're going to use the law of cosines. So we have to start with side A, which is 3 squared minus the other two sides squared added together minus 2 times those side lengths multiplied and then times the cosine of the angle we're looking towards. Now here's a quick way to solve this on your calculator. So what I do is I subtract over those quantities that have been squared. On the right side, we'll have the negative 2, in this case, times 2 times 4.7 times the cosine of A. So on the left side, do that in your calculator, and you'll get approximately negative 17.09, and on the right, you'll get negative 18.8 times the cosine of A. Now divide those two values to get the cosine of A by itself, and you will get a decimal at this point. Remember, that's the cosine of the angle. So now use the inverse cosine function on your calculator. So second cosine, and then press second and the negative to pull back the answer. And your calculator will tell you that the angle of approximately 24.6 degrees is angle A. Now, for the third angle of the triangle, just subtract from 180 degrees the two known angles, and you will get approximately 14.4 degrees. So, that's how you solve an oblique triangle using the law of sines. Let's try another, okay? So let's sketch this triangle, ABC. C is 35, side A is 6, and side B is 9. So notice we have a side angle side configuration. That's the information that we can use that if we know it, we can use the law of sines to solve. So let's start with, well, let's write what we need to know. Angles A, B, and side C. And then let's start with side C, because that's what we can start with based on what we know. So it's the other two sides squared added up minus 2 times those sides multiplied together times the cosine of the angle that corresponds with side C, which is angle C. So you're going to just put that in your calculator and get that value. I am not rounding, that's why I have the dot, dot, dots. Then take the square root of that, pull that back, and then round to tens place. So now we know the length of C. So now we can solve for angle A. So we need to start with side A, which is 6 squared, equals the other two side lengths squared, minus 2 times those side lengths times the cosine of A, because that's what we're looking for. Now remember that little, it's not a shortcut, it's just a quick way to do this work on the calculator. Move those squared values over, find that value, which is negative 73 and 9/100 equals negative 95 and 4/10. Divide those values, and just remember this is not the angle, this is the cosine of the angle. Use the inverse cosine function on your calculator, pull back that decimal, and the angle is approximately 40 degrees. Now subtract from 180 the other two angles, and there's your third angle. All right, we've solved another triangle using the law of cosines. So now we have a case 4 configuration. We know all 3 sides of this triangle, so we can use the law of cosines. So let's list what we need to know, which is angle A, B, and C. We'll make our little answer box, and then let's just start alphabetically with angle A. So we do side A equals sides B and C squared minus 2 times B and C times the cosine of angle A. Now I'm not going to show this part writing, I'm just going to do it on my calculator and then put what the cosine of this angle is, which is 0.928, etc. Then use the inverse cosine, pull back that decimal, and so you can see that angle A is approximately 21.8 degrees. Let's do the same for angle B. Let's use the law of cosine. So we have to start with side B equals A squared plus C squared minus 2 times A times C times the cosine of the angle we're looking for, which is B. So now I'm subtracting my squared values over and dividing by that product. So that is my cosine. And then I'm going to use the inverse cosine function on the calculator, pull back my answer, and there's angle B. All right, now for angle C, we can simply subtract from 180 degrees. And you can always just do a check and make sure that your angles add up to 180, which ours do. So here's a real life example. Scientists can use a set of footprints to calculate an organism's step angle, which is a measure of walking efficiency. The closer the step angle is to 180 degrees, the more efficiently the organism walked. So the diagram at the right shows a step of footprints for a dinosaur. Find the step of angle B. So this is a side, side, side situation of a triangle. So let's solve for angle B. So we have to start with side B. And then that will equal A squared plus C squared minus 2AC times the cosine of B. So now we're going to subtract over those squared values, divide by the product, and that is our cosine. It can be negative, and then use your inverse cosine to find out that that angle is rounded about 127 degrees, which I think is probably pretty efficient. That is a wide angle. Okay, here's another situation. So see if you can imagine this. 2 trapeze artists are both 5 feet long when hanging by their knees. One is hanging on a bar suspended from a 12-foot long wire. The other is hanging on a bar suspended from a wire 8 feet long. The 2 are 25 feet apart. So let's start a picture. So here's one trapeze artist in the air, and then here's another, and they are 25 feet apart. All right, now one of the artists is, well, they're both 5 feet long, but one has a 12-foot suspension. So 12 plus 5 is 7, and one has an 8-foot. 8 plus 5 is 13. So there's our triangle configuration. At what angle will the 2 meet when they get ready to make hand-to-hand contact? So we're looking for, we'll just call it theta. All right, so since this is a side, side, side situation, we can use the law of cosines. And so we'll start with 25 squared, because that corresponds with the angle that we need to know, equals the other two sides squared added together minus 2 times the product times the cosine of theta. And now I'm going to be subtracting and then dividing and find out that the cosine is about negative 0.3778. Use the inverse cosine function to find that those trapeze artists make contact at an angle of about 112 degrees. Now, here's a formula that is not used very much, but I just wanted to put it in front of you. So it says the law of cosines can be used to establish the following formula for the area of a triangle. So this is a non-right triangle. The formula is credited to the Greek mathematician Heron. So we'll call it Heron's area formula. So the area of the triangle with side lengths of A, B, and C is area equals. Now you may be wondering what S is. So look down below. S is what we call the semi-perimeter. So you add up the 3 side lengths and then take half of it. And so then you can see what you do with that semi-perimeter in that area formula. So let's look at example 5. The intersection of 3 streets forms a piece of land called a traffic triangle. Find the area of the traffic triangle. All right, so let's find that semi-perimeter. So we have 1/2 times the 3 length, which is the perimeter, and that gives us the semi-perimeter, which is 380. Now we do the area formula. So area equals the square root of 380 times 380 minus each of those side lengths. And so you can put that in your calculator and we will round. So our area is approximately 13,307 square yards. Let's try another situation. Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill are 3 cities in North Carolina that form what is known as the Research Triangle. It's about 18 miles from Raleigh to Durham, 23 miles from Raleigh to Chapel Hill, and 8 miles from Chapel Hill to Durham. Find the area of the Research Triangle. So we'll just work those formulas. First, let's find the semi-perimeter. Half of those distances added up, which will give us a decimal, but it ends, so we'll use it, 24.5. Then putting it in the formula, area equals the square root of the semi-perimeter, and then multiplied by that semi-perimeter minus each of the lengths. So putting that in your calculator and taking the square root, that area of what's called the Research Triangle is approximately 63 square miles. All right, and that concludes our notes on the law of cosines solving oblique triangles.